Hello, everybody. Okay, so today's show will be one of many. I have been prepping for a while now, for a couple of years. And so my whole family knows that I prep, so they all used to it. They used to laugh at me. But now, because of the state of the world, all of a sudden everybody don't laugh anymore when I say the word prep.
It's becoming a common.
It's becoming common. And the president told you to prep. And that there was going to be, he's used the word that there was going to be food shortages.
Okay.
That means prep. So, this will be one of many videos that we will do. I want to just give you a basic list of the things that you need to prep for and be prepared. Okay. Don't be the person to look back later on and say, man, I watched that video that Kim and Lenore did. I wish I would have listened to them. Because then you'll be standing in line like y'all did during COVID. The line stretched all the way out the door and around the bend. And people going live saying that they didn't want to stand in the line to purchase groceries. Right. Or that the shelves were empty. And that no one told them ahead of time. So you're hearing it ahead of time that you need to prep.
If you haven't already, huh?
Yes. Okay. So there's different kind of preppers. There's doomsday preppers.
I was going to say there's levels of
There's levels of prepping. There's doomsday preppers. There's people who prep for emergencies, like things that happen in their area. If they have a lot of hurricanes or tornadoes and different things like that. And then there's people who prep for economy-wise. Like if there's a shortage on something because there's, like now in Ukraine.
Now I'm noticing entertainers. What's that comedian that's in the commercials now?
I have no idea.
Okay, I have to give you.
Talk harder.
Jay-Z. No. Smooth.
Oh, JB Smooth.
He was on the
JB Smooth is a prepper.
He talked about prepping.
JB Smooth is a prepper.
A camper.
Yes.
A trailer.
Yeah.
A drive-away camper.
Yeah.
So he's a serious
he's a serious
too.
prepper.
Go ahead.
I'm a serious prepper.
I just wanted to throw a famous name in there so people go, some people are really doing
I'm not at the doomsday level like JB.
He can afford it though.
That's exactly why. I'm not at the doomsday level because I don't have the money to be a doomsday prepper, to buy a camper. But if I did have the money to buy a camper, I would buy a camper. Okay. And I would also buy a boat, especially living here near Lake Michigan, and I cannot swim.
Okay.
If anything happens when that lake decide to rise up, I'm going to be like the people in New Orleans on the top of my roof, hoping the water don't go past that. But if you had a boat, you just get in your little boat,
float on.
and then float your way out of the water towards Texas. But anyway, so this is just to give you some basic things on what you need to do when you want to prep. Now, the first thing before I get into that is there's a shortage already on baby formula.
I know. What's going on with that? Like, where's it coming from that it would be a shortage like that?
It's the ingredients. You got to understand, a lot of these shortages are going to be because of ingredients.
And we're getting them from different locations.
Fertilizer is going to be hard to get. Countries. So that affects your farming. Right? You're not going to get all the vegetables and stuff that you want.
Places like Russia.
Russia is one of the number one importers of fertilizer. Ukraine, all of these things. There's so many things that I'm not going to get in detail. I'm going to do basic today.
Okay.
But baby formula, I was watching on Facebook, and a couple of older ladies were saying we did stuff before baby formula.
Back in the day.
And it's so funny because I was on YouTube. And I saw this one lady, she gave a recipe for baby formula if you can't get baby formula. And the same thing she said on her video, what she's been giving her baby, is the same things these older ladies were saying that they moms did and they mothers before them
when they made their own formula.
So the formula is, what is it?
It's 3 cups of water.
3 cups of water, sterilized water.
1 can of carnation milk.
1 can of, I believe, 12-ounce carnation milk.
And now this is what I didn't know as formula.
Right.
2 tablespoons of light corn syrup.
2 tablespoons of light corn syrup.
The babies are drinking carnation milk mixed with water.
So they really
and corn syrup?
They really drinking sweet milk.
Oh my goodness.
That's pretty much what formula is. It's sweet milk.
Wow, unless they're doing
the
breast
only
milk,
thing that homemade recipe is missing is vitamins. So you still should give your child, your baby, some kind of baby vitamin. Talk to your doctor first.
Okay.
None of us are experts.
Okay.
And I would even talk to my doctor even with giving them this recipe before you give it to them. Because your child could be different. Your child could have
some child don't even drink certain kind of milk. Yeah.
So I'm not a medical expert. I don't pretend to be one. I don't pretend to be a doctor on television.
Okay.
Although I would be a good one. Because I would come in like if anything happened, like, what's going on?
Everybody's
Dr. Woods.
Everyone's doctor has been Googled.
Right. So always check with your physician before you start any home remedy. Your child could have some special dietary needs that may not be fit. But once you check with them, say, can I use this recipe if I'm not able to get baby formula?
Has the government talked about this shortage? They haven't.
Oh, it's on the news. It's been on CNN and everywhere.
It's really sad, you guys. We don't realize that we're living in this earth that things like this can happen.
Yeah, and some of the reasons I wrote down for the shortages. What was my list? Number one, I said Russia and Ukraine. So again, Russia and Ukraine, we're talking about fertilizer. So we're talking about wheat. We're talking about a lot of things that come from there.
Like gasoline, right? Some gasoline we get from there, don't we?
Diesel, I think. Some of it, but just yeah. Go ahead.
India.
Oh, there's some type of
crisis.
There's some type of crisis in India that we get a lot of our stuff from, a lot of our fertilizer from.
Okay, countries are exporting less and keeping more.
Countries are keeping more.
It would make sense because they need to keep it for themselves.
They need to keep it for themselves, so they're not able to export as much as they can to other people,
and
including
that's going to
us.
hurt them financially as well.
Yes,
because they get money from these countries when we're asking for these different products.
Right. But they need it for their people.
Yeah, gas prices up. Of course, we've been hearing that.
Gas prices are up, so that has something to do with transportation, which means it's going to cost more to get stuff shipped, which means it's going to cost more in the grocery store, which means the prices is going to go up. So something, and by the end of this year, probably what you're paying now, you'll be paying double for anything that you're getting now.
Okay. Yeah. You said sunflower oil. And other than baby formula, what you just said.
Sunflower oil is big. And sunflower oil is in a lot of ingredients in a lot of things. And so that affects a lot of things.
Okay. And other than
high inflation,
an emergency fund for 6 months, you said to make
sure that you have an emergency fund.
We've been hearing that a lot.
Your own funds that last for 6 months.
Right.
So, and then if you have a job, make sure that you make yourself, how do you say this? Make yourself where if they had to get rid of people, you wouldn't be one of the ones that they get rid of.
See, that's hard to do sometimes.
Sometimes it's hard.
Security is hard because you would think. Here's the thing. I had an opportunity to do the job security thing, but I was so tired of that place after 25 years.
Right.
I didn't want to learn anything else. And I looked at when I was escorted out with 24 other people, the person that stayed in my department, they learned that new system, job security. I didn't want to learn it.
She didn't want to learn it.
Tired.
So I don't care what they tell you. If they want you to learn something, learn it. If you can go to another department and learn another department, learn another department, the more you know, the more valuable you are to the company. And it doesn't mean, they don't always do that anymore, that last hired, first fired anymore. That doesn't matter anymore. Now it's who's more valuable to them.
You know what? Watch it too. Sometimes they'll send you overseas to train offshore.
You're training the people that's getting ready to replace you.
That has happened so many times.
But if you know that, be prepared for it.
Yeah, that's true.
Put 6 months of your salary to the side so that you are able to live for a little bit. Okay. Or at least give you a head start.
Okay. Now, what is this you got?
Now, FEMA has a list of things for people to prep. Now, this is a beginner's list.
Okay.
People like me who've been prepping for years, we much more extended than this. But I'm giving you basic. This is like FEMA, the government is telling you to do this.
You guys, you connect with each other. You work with each other as far as things that you may have that you may not have thought about.
Yeah.
I like people are starting
and I think I'm going to do that going forward. I'll do videos for preppers because once you start prepping, then you're a prepper now. So that I'll do videos that think lessons I've learned, things I've made a mistake, things that are not shelf worthy, things that don't last on shelf like peanuts, things like that, and chocolate. But you can do it, but you have to preserve it a certain way. You have to preserve it a certain way.
Oh,
you have to
okay,
preserve
for it to
it.
last longer.
You have to do some things you need. You know, I'll go in deep detail.
Now I
later.
noticed you don't prep organic stuff much, do you?
No, they don't have a long shelf life.
Yeah, because they're not added all those preservatives.
What I
and
do
stuff.
do is can. If
Okay.
y'all notice, like 2 or 3 years ago, I was telling y'all about canning.
Mm-hmm.
I started canning because if you want vegetables and fruits and things like that, you need to learn how to can. You need to buy a canner.
So to last longer.
You need to buy a pressure cooker, and you need to or a water baser, and you need to start canning.
So this list you got water, 1 gallon per person per day.
Water, you need to prep 1 gallon per person per day.
To
Now
last for how
FEMA
long?
says 3 days. I don't think 3 days. I think at least a week.
Okay.
Because you've noticed in all emergency situations,
it's more than
it's always more than 3 days.
Like
it's
electricity
usually,
is down.
It's
like
usually
Texas
a week.
Went through that.
It's usually a week.
Yeah.
Before they can get things back up and going again.
Okay.
Now this is basic prepping. This is not doomsday prepping.
Right.
I do doomsday prepping too, which
Lord,
is
God
if the
forbid.
grid
What's a doomsday?
goes down and you
like
have
if-
no
if
electricity
somebody,
for months.
Tap into our system.
If Russia decides that they want to infiltrate our computer system and shut everything down, that's more doomsday. I'm giving y'all basic. Like if it's a hurricane or electricity goes out or whatever. These are things the government says that you need to have.
So these 3 days then is really, you're saying about a week.
And this is on ready.gov.
3 days worth of food.
Yes. 3 days worth of food. Again, this is the government saying 3 days worth of food. I say a week.
Okay.
And try to have food that you don't have to cook.
Right.
Try to have food like tuna, Vienna sausages. I don't know if y'all like Vienna sausages.
I know.
Crackers, potted meat,
Spam.
well, you can also have like ravioli in the can.
Okay.
Those things you don't need. Actually, you don't need to. We cook, we heat it because we like it hot.
But it's already pre.
You can eat cold ravioli in a can.
With some mess in it.
It's still ravioli in a can.
But what about people who are
SpaghettiOs,
who have strict diets though? That's that challenge.
You have to prep.
Like if they're vegans or they're vegetarians.
You have to prep according to your diet. You have to prep according to your diet.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
okay.
And you can eat rice. If you're a vegetarian, don't they eat rice?
I think so.
So you can eat rice.
Yeah.
Rice is always rice and beans, pasta, spaghetti sauce. You can. There's a lot of stuff you can prep and eat for a week that you can put in your storage.
This crank radio.
A crank radio is like it's a small radio. Again, in the future, I think when I do these shows, I'll actually show you the things I have because I have a water filtration system. I have a crank radio. I have a 2-way radio. I told you I'm a doomsday prepper.
Is a crank radio like battery operated?
A crank radio is like if you crank it, it'll power up, and it can be powered by the solar. So the sun can
so it's just like in case power goes down, you can always know what's
in case power goes out, you'll always know what's going on. You can listen to the radio and hear what's going on.
Okay, you got flashlights.
Of course, flashlights. All of y'all know y'all should have flashlights.
That's a normal one anyway.
That's a normal one. What most people don't know is that now they make a lot of solar flashlights. So you want a solar flashlight because you want to be able to sit it in the window during the day, and then at nighttime you can use it. So many of y'all have flashlights, but you have flashlights with batteries.
Right.
So which is fine if you want to have like shelves and shelves of batteries. And batteries don't have a long shelf life. Just so y'all know that. Unless you put them in the refrigerator.
I always think of solar as the sun has to be shining.
The sun does have to be shining.
It's gloomy and
well, again, you're talking about doomsday prepping. Now, if you're talking about doomsday prepping, you prep if you don't have the sun. But I'm talking about normal people. Some sun is going to come out. Okay. Now, if it doesn't, and you have your car battery, you can buy things that you can hook up to your car battery that can recharge your batteries. Get rechargeable batteries in.
So you have to really be creative.
You got to think about it and think about where you live.
Some of this stuff, though, people usually have first aid kits.
Everybody should have a first aid kit.
First aid kit.
Every bathroom you have in your house should have a first aid kit in the bathroom, underneath the cabinet. Okay. Everybody should have a first aid kit. I don't know if they have.
I think that's even be thinking of before we even started talking about prepping. People would always have little kits.
Everybody should have a first aid kit
and little stuff that you.
Yes, and you should also have. I don't know if it's on the list, but you should also have a fire extinguisher or some type of way to put out a fire if you have to.
We had kits with us when we were in the bush in Africa, because of course there was no electricity, no running water. Some weird Ugandan bug
bit you.
Bit me in the neck.
And they put something on you.
And he right away tore off something.
And put it on her.
Woo,
now, I don't know if many of y'all know that this year we're supposed to be attacked by gnats. It's supposed to be, if y'all haven't seen them already, it's supposed to be
you already
billions of
seeing
gnats.
them over there by the...
And for preppers, we know.
Okay, what's the secret to that?
Vanilla. Gnats hate vanilla. So buy some kind of vanilla spray or something.
And they don't like that.
Mosquitoes don't like it either. Vanilla, they hate the smell of vanilla.
Smell like vanilla in the Lake County area.
Get some vanilla candles and put them in your house.
You smell somebody, you like, oh, they're keeping the gnats away.
Keeping the gnats away. They hate vanilla.
Okay, and then you got extra batteries. Even though you're saying try to do solar.
But also have batteries.
Always good.
Batteries don't have a long shelf life.
Rechargeable ones you
put them in your refrigerator.
Okay.
If you have batteries, you need to keep them in your refrigerator because that keeps their lifelong expectancy a little bit longer.
Right. Now, what's the deal with this whistle? Why you need a whistle?
You should have a whistle because if FEMA, this is the government.
What's the whistle
Because
for?
if you're trapped in your house and they are looking for people that are alive or people...
If I'm still breathing, even blowing
you have a whistle. They found people in the bathroom, in the bathtub with the house fell on them.
And they didn't know.
With a whistle.
There. Okay.
Because they grabbed their whistle.
Oh, who thinks about a whistle?
You should... This is part of prepping. This is part of prepping.
I know, but I'm saying that's good. I never thought about that.
If you're in your bathroom, you have your first aid kit in your bathroom. You should have your whistle in there in your first aid kit.
And your lungs to blow.
Right, hopefully.
If knocked out.
Or like when they was in New Orleans, people was on top of their roof. They was blowing their whistles. Or people was trapped and they was blowing their whistles. So always have whistles.
See, you hate that anything like this major will happen.
You never think about it.
Be prepared for this. It's like having life insurance.
Or you don't even have to be trapped. You could be outside helping people. And if you have whistles, the police could be driving trying to see who needs help, what neighborhoods need to be helped. And if you have whistles, that draws their attention to you.
Dusk mask?
Everybody should have a dust mask. That's that N95 mask. And you guys heard about that with COVID-19, I'm sure. It's not just the regular little surgical mask, which does absolutely nothing really. You really need that N95 mask.
That's a serious mask.
Well, it's not real serious. You got it. No, you thinking of the other one.
Yeah.
She thinking of the Doomsday Mask that I'm getting.
Yeah.
No, not that one. The one y'all see in those sci-fi movies and they had those masks with the thing coming.
I'm like, Lord, just take me.
I'm getting one of those.
I don't want to be here when this
this is that white one. This is that white one you got that looks kind of conish and it has N95 on the side.
Okay.
You should get an N95. This is the government, y'all. This list is coming from ready.gov.
Oh, wow.
This ain't coming from me. This is the government telling you these are things that you need in your house.
This plastic sheeting.
Everybody should have plastic sheeting.
Duct tape.
Because if your windows blow out, what you gonna do? Put your pants legs up and sew some clothes together? You gonna put a sheet where the wind blowing through, the rain blowing through, the snow blowing through. You gonna put a mattress up? Everybody should have a big roll of plastic.
Okay.
A big roll of plastic. That thick plastic. Remember back in the days when we was young and your mom and your dad would put that plastic on the window because we'd be in the house shaking. We'd be cold because they was poor or we was poor. We had no money.
Stuff.
Or they didn't want to turn the heat up.
Right.
My father and them have it down to 50 degrees, and we be in the house with smoke coming out of our mouth. I don't need it. I'll put some plastic on the window. I'll put some plastic on the door. Or some tape. That's what you need. Back to old school.
Wow.
If your electricity go out, if you can't get gas,
if it's a hurricane,
and the windows blow in and all of that, make sure you have some plastic. In Houston, people had their gas pipes was freezing.
Yes.
And so water was crashing through the ceilings. It was coming through. But they had that plastic. See, they could have covered that hole and taped it up. You see what I'm saying? So, and put some buckets underneath it. Of course, it probably would still went through. But not falling just scoops and bits of water.
No. Not ready for
get
that.
some of that Gorilla Tape and that Gorilla Glue.
Okay. And
so get some of that stuff, and that helps. Remember we was over on Great Lakes, and I wasn't prepping then.
It was a flood.
And that water was just coming through the door
on the lower level.
If I would have been prepping then,
what would you have put there?
We would have put some Gorilla Glue around that whole door, or some Gorilla Tape.
It was wet.
Gorilla Glue works in wet. It works wet
because it was literally we were like on the it was a hill coming down.
You ain't see the boat.
So the water just flowed. It was like a little swimming pool.
You didn't see the commercial with the man on his boat leaking, and he put his Gorilla Glue on there, and the water, it doesn't get wet and not
it can still stick.
It still sticks.
Wow.
If I would have been prepping back then, I would have got my Gorilla Tape and my Gorilla Glue, and I would have taped that whole door so that water wouldn't came in.
That was a situation that we could have avoided, but the one where we had at the other house,
Which
you
one?
couldn't have, because that's where the whole, when it's raining and there's a drainage, that one was clogged in. So when Mama opened the door,
all the water
she
came
had
in.
no clue.
Yeah. Oh, you talking about the other house? Yeah. She opened the door and a whole swimming pool came in. Probably wiped it. Did she fall?
No, I don't know. We've been saying how
she fall on everything. So a big gush of water came in and flooded our whole bottom, whole basement.
Yeah.
And she couldn't help that, but she didn't know that
there
it was
things that you just can't avoid, but still, like you're saying.
But you can if everything is in bins. Which is another thing that we know as preppers. Yeah. Boxes are not good because mice get into boxes.
That's true.
Bugs get into
your
boxes.
Storage units and stuff.
So really in your basement, everything should really be in bins.
Plastic.
It should be in bins.
Heavy plastic bins.
So that if it's underwater, it won't ruin everything you got in your basement.
That's true. You got baby wipes, we know.
Baby wipes, always have baby wipes. They're good for cleaning. If you're dirty, let's say you were in a flood or you were in something
water,
and you don't have any running water, you can always use baby wipes so you don't feel so dirty and your face isn't dirty and you feel clean.
Zip ties. What are you gonna do with zip ties?
Zip ties can be used for a lot of things. You can hang lights with zip ties.
Okay.
You can close things with zip ties. You can put a zip tie on your door to keep it shut.
So those are always good to have.
It's strong and it's good. You can combine things together with zip ties. Zip ties are always good to have, and plastic bags too.
I see that. And then of course garbage bags.
Garbage bags again. How many of us use garbage bags for everything? We put food in garbage bags. We put clothes in garbage bags. We put it on for a rain jacket. Garbage bags can be used for. You can build a tent with garbage bags.
You can even use a garbage bag, cut it in half, like you're saying, and use it for the window.
You can use it for the window.
Plastic,
If you outside, it could be a tent. I will put me in some tent. I'll build a tent out of garbage bags. I bet you everybody else in the neighborhood will be standing outside. Their cars turned upside down so they can't get in their car. I'll be sitting there. We be sitting there with our garbage bags. Tent.
So of course a manual can opener. I think people
a manual can opener.
Electric.
Anything
electric.
A
manual for it.
Just think.
That makes sense.
No electricity.
Yeah.
What would I do with no electricity?
You get the grill out.
Think about all the things that you use.
Unless you got a fireplace.
Think about all the things that you use your electricity for. Even opening up a can. Why would you have put your pantry full of canned foods and you have an electric can opener?
Thank you. You can't even
You gotta really do old school, which is a knife and bang down on the knife and move it around like we used to do back in the day. But why do that when you could just get a manual can opener? And remember, one is none. Two is one. So if you got one of anything, you might as well say you have none. Because if it breaks, you have none. So get more than one manual can opener. They cost like 99 cents or something at the dollar store.
That's true. Get a bunch of them.
Get a bunch of them.
Of course, you got local maps.
Get a local map
because Rand McNally's, we used to pull that out.
Right now,
we're
so used to giving people instructions with our phones. Or knowing how to get someplace with our phone.
How we get there.
So let's say electricity is out, your neighborhood is out. This is FEMA now. This is the government telling you this. If you have a map and somebody say, oh, there's a food, they're giving away food, or the FEMA truck is on New York and Madagascar Street. What?
Well, if
you can live in Waukegan your whole life and be like, I don't even know where that is. If you have a map of the local area, you'll know where it is.
Wow.
Okay?
I remember those days.
And with that, you should always have bikes. Somebody in your house needs to have a bike. If not all of y'all, there needs to be bikes in your house. Because if you can't get gas, if people steal gas, they starting to steal gas and all of that.
I know this.
Then you just gonna be sitting in your car.
You need a gas can too.
You gonna be sitting in your car not being able to go nowhere.
We used to have
you need to have a bike
in a safe place. because we needed that one time.
Well, you need to have
gas,
you need to prep gas, but that's advanced prepping.
And then you got
I'm giving y'all basic right now.
Power charger. That's your last thing on this list.
You need a way to charge up things that you need. If you have a refrigerator, if your power goes out and your refrigerator and your freezer are extremely important to you, then you need to have something to be able to charge those.
You say even a generator.
So you need to have a generator.
Right? A generator would be.
There's so many
Every
people.
Homeowner should
I don't know
have
how
a
many
generator.
people I have asked y'all. I've been over to people's house and I said, "Do you have a generator?" And they look at me like, "No." Why would you have a house?
It's foreign to them.
Why would you own a home
without
and
a
not have a
generator?
generator?
Yes.
I can understand if you can't afford it. I get it. Everybody not living where they can just go out and buy a generator.
Right.
But some of y'all shoes cost hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
Make it a priority.
Y'all got Maseratis and y'all driving BMWs and Mercedes.
Yeah, pay on it.
Y'all got nice stuff. Y'all houses are nice.
Yeah.
You're not poor people. Y'all got some money. Why you don't have a generator in your house is mind blowing to me.
A generator and those pumps when floods.
And a flood, if you got a basement, why would you not have a pump in your basement?
Yeah, that's true.
So these are basic
things. A lot of people are starting to buy all of this as homeowners, and it's hard when you're in an apartment or a place like that.
Correct.
But still, as a homeowner,
as a homeowner,
or owning, these are basic.
And if you're a single woman, you got to also think about, if anything happens, I don't have muscle with me. I don't have a guy at the house with me.
Right.
It's just me and my kids. What do I need to do to survive? It don't have to be major. It just needs to be minimal. What minimal do you need to be able to get through at least, to me, I say a week. FEMA says 3 days on your own.
Okay.
On your own.
And I noticed you didn't put it on this list. You need to have cash in the house.
You need to have cash.
Always have some cash.
Which also
those
means
ATM machines, the banks may be shut down.
And with look what happened in Russia. People was running to the bank. People was running in Ukraine.
Yeah.
They couldn't get their money out. They were standing in line. If you don't think something like that is going to happen in America, you foolish. And some of y'all foolish. Y'all, I don't know how you think. You just, I don't know what it is that people think that this country is like, nothing will ever happen to us. Like, we just, I don't know what it is. We just kind of la. And you don't want to think about stuff like this because it sounds doomsday type of thing. But you have life insurance. You have car insurance. You have medical insurance.
If things happen,
you have. If I have life insurance, does that mean I want to die tomorrow?
No, you just.
It means that if I die,
prepared for that situation when it happens.
I don't want my death to be a financial burden on my family.
I know some people have taken collections on Uncle so and so,
or I may have medical.
Like, really?
I may have medical insurance. It's not because I feel like tomorrow I might get cancer or something like how you had. It's that in case I do.
And just being wise.
So
wise
prepping,
while we're on this earth.
Prepping. Look at prepping as insurance.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean. I hope I never get to use my first aid kit,
especially that mask.
The Doomsday Mask I'm getting, and I told her I want a Doomsday Mask.
What the? God.
Let me tell you why I told her I want at least one Doomsday Mask.
Okay.
I want one Doomsday Mask because if we get a virus that's 18 times worse than COVID, and the government says you can only go outside if you have this particular type of mask, I want that mask.
Okay.
Because I want to be able to go outside to get groceries or to get whatever. And then if they do it with it, you can only go at a certain time or whatever, you still have that mask.
What do you say to people that they feel like the prepping is kind of going, it's too far, it's too extreme when you doing this prep? Even when you said the government is even sending out information to say basic. Because most people,
when I say to people, hold on. When I say to people like that is, if you are a Christian, then you're not following the Bible.
What is that?
Because the Bible, they prepped in the Bible. Okay. The Bible, God had them prepare. He had them prepare for war. He had them prepare for food shortages. Joseph stored up the storehouse. And who came to him? His brothers who were not preppers. Those gonna be the people trying to show up.
Go ahead, Joseph, because I'll be like hesitant to give it to my brother.
And I'm telling you,
trying to kill me.
I told God, I said, God, I don't know what to do.
Okay.
Because I'm a prepper.
No, but
hold on. I said I don't know what to do because I'm a prepper, and I know it's a lot of y'all out there who don't. And if something happens, people gonna be like, well, let's go to the people who prep because we know they prep.
Oh, okay.
And I said, God,
they'd be knocking at our door,
right? And I said, people I know I can turn away. Okay. I don't know about kids or children or babies.
Okay. Family members.
I said, so I don't know what to do, guys. Okay. I just shook my head. I'm gonna continue to prep because that's what you told me to do. Okay. God has been telling me to prep for years. Yeah. Something is coming.
People that we've been meeting. Some of them that you beat with prep. I'm prepping.
Man, some of them people got me.
Let me tell Kim. What do you think about that?
They farming and everything. Once we get a good house where we can farm, I want to start gardening and farming. I want to become my own reliant. I'm not relying on the grocery store. Right. I got my own stuff in the backyard that I can get. But with that, let me tell you how I felt. I was like, God, I don't know what to do. Whatever.
If they all come to your door.
So God said,
no room in the
don't worry about it. Just do what I told you to do.
Okay.
So what that could mean is hopefully he'll raise up a standard where you can't get to my door.
Stop. What you talking about?
Or I won't even answer the door. I won't even know you out there. It'll be at that point. Let's hope it does not get to that point.
People are praying that it does. What I was asking is for the extreme.
I think it's more of just in case something happens, emergency wise, you have something.
I was saying as far as the extreme, because we all have different ideals of what extreme is on certain things. Some people prep anyway, and they didn't think of that. Call it prep that. They have all these little items that you maybe. They say, "Oh, I've been having that for years." Anyway. They don't think of it. But when you get to the extreme, like the mask, that kind of thing, it's some kind of gas.
That's more of a doomsday prepping.
And you gotta go. Should I go?
But I'm not.
But
I'm not even. I'm not even getting on y'all on that type of prepping. I'm just talking basic with y'all. Basic, everyday living, everyday life, hurricane, tornado. Now, let's say there's a fire. What can you do? Everything in your house is going to burn up. No, a fire outside, like in Southern California, where your whole house catches on fire. It doesn't matter what you do. If you prep till the cows come home, your house will burn down. Is gone. That's why you have a good get-out bag. I have get-out bags. So a get-out bag, which I'll talk about on another thing, you have certain things packed in there so that's car. That's for your car.
Are you in your car going away?
In case we got to get out quickly, we're in our car. Even if we have to get out.
Something you guys because my coworkers would do this with their boys when they're traveling on the long road. There's an item that you can get for your boys to urinate in when they're doing travels and you can't stop. She got something for females.
Y'all seen those female things where it looks like a penis, but it's a cup
for the women to pee in.
You can pee in.
See, and I'm like, wow.
Every place don't have a toilet, and everybody don't have a place where you can
get
squat.
Out. When there's women, it's hard to do that, and on the stride of the road.
Right, I bought one of those. You could get one of those
so
too.
It's just things like that you don't think about.
But a get out bag, a get home. There's a get home bag and there's a get out bag. The get home bag is if your car breaks down, which is something too that you should have.
Back in the day,
if you gotta wait,
a lot.
But let's say let's say it's a little bit in the future and it's harder to get AAA because maybe gas is so high, it's less drivers out. So now you find yourself waiting in your car for 3 or 4 hours. And that is even on the highway. That's not even a AAA. That's recently. Like people stuck in traffic for 24 hours.
But that was one
in Atlanta. I think it happened, where was it at? It was another one where they were stuck in their car for 24 hours.
Winter, wasn't it?
Wintertime.
But that was one of the things that Whoopi had mentioned on The View with Elon's new car.
The electric car.
She has one. And she said this man got so much money.
It's things he needs to input in there.
He needs to input roadside assistance for your electric car. She said their car
they can't call AAA.
You don't call AAA or no one. She says you got an email. She said, what if your phone's not working?
That's true.
Was so angry.
So
she said this man buying up Twitter. He needs to buy roadside assistance for your electric car.
But on the other side, Whoopi, again, like you guys, you know you have an electric car. So you need to prep for that.
Who knew that?
But she knows now.
The one car had a flat.
I know, but she knows now.
Her husband had a flat on his. They don't have a spare.
Nope.
They don't carry
Your
a
car
spare.
don't have a spare.
I know my car don't either. Duh. How do you?
See?
He was late because he's a doctor. He couldn't even make it to his appointment.
So you have to prep. Think when you start talking about the get home bag, the one that I'm putting together now to go in the car. Those are things that's happening now. And it's not even about your car breaking down. You can be on the highway and gang violence could break out and they can shut the roads down and you be sitting in your car for about 20 hours.
So snacks, is it in that bag too?
Food, you have MREs. Those are things that the Army, those of you who are in the Army and in the military, you know what those are. So those are meals that already are in your bag, ready to go. You should have enough for everybody in the family.
For 3, 4, 5
If you gotta
hours.
be in that car, y'all gotta eat. You gotta use the washroom, that's why I brought it up when you said that thing that a woman can use, the same as a guy can.
Water in the car.
You need water in your car.
Wow.
You need, it was a whole bunch of things to keep you warm.
If
it's winter time and your car runs out of gas, your car ain't gonna run for 24 hours.
Right.
You need to be able to turn it off and turn it on. Turn it off and turn it on.
Died in the car.
There's a group that died in the van. They froze to death. So these are things that's happening now, guys.
Natural things.
This ain't even doomsday. You in California. Y'all have California fires. Your highway could be closed down. You could be stuck in traffic. You can't go back home. You can't go forward.
What do you have
stuck in traffic.
Ready to keep you,
what do you have?
Sane.
So you need to have a bag in your car anyway. That's another show I'll do. What do you have in your get home bag? What do you have in your get out bag? Which is, I got to get out. And I have a friend of mine, his brother, they just had this situation. They would sleep and they son woke them up. The house was on fire.
Wow.
It was it was a video game or something that caught on fire.
I think that was in the news. The other game,
a video game.
Yeah, it wasn't that thing that they ride on. It was something.
No, this was the one they played.
Yeah, and it caught on fire in the lower
caught on fire.
So the fire alarm. They all upstairs in the bedroom.
And their son came and woke them up and said he smelled fire. Not fire, smoke. By the time they got out of that bed, the fire was coming up the stairs.
They had to get out.
They had to open the window,
get on the roof
of their bedroom,
of their house,
with their kids. They got all the kids. Went on the roof, had to climb out of the window and up to the roof. Now, first of all, we learned that in school. You should have a way to get out during fire. Remember that?
Wow,
y'all, this is basic stuff we learned in school, y'all.
So that's gonna happen.
They tell you should be able to know how to get out in case you need. So I bought a fire blanket. Remember that?
Yeah.
I bought 3 giant fire blankets
go through it real
that you can walk through fire that firemen use.
Because
my mom is handicapped. She ain't gonna walk. We all be dead by the time she walk out the door.
Out no window.
And I can't fit out the window. So we're gonna have to be like walk. What's the Shadrach, Meshach, and the Bad Negro? We're gonna have to walk through the fire. So I got fire gloves and I got fire blankets. It should be in each room.
Okay. Ooh.
So that if you gotta cloak yourself in a fire blanket with some fire gloves and walk yourself right out of there.
Yeah. Well, who thinks of that though?
Who thinks of that?
You're right. We just need to be wiser and
you gotta
be
think
ready,
of it.
Be prepared. Aside from those of us who are spiritual and we love to pray, whatever. Yes.
The one thing I have not
use wisdom too while we're on this earth.
Now that you know that I'm a prepper, if any of you are preppers and you have suggestions, I'm concerned because they said it's going to be a lot of power outages this summer.
Why do you say that? Because
they said that the heat is going to be higher, and also because a lot of people are going to be running their air conditioners and stuff, and our grid can't accommodate that.
So is that how is that any different than any other hot summer we've had? Because of something with our grid. I don't know. They just said I got to do more research on it. But they were saying that we're going to have more power outages this summer. So with that, I can't do hot, y'all. Well, so I've been trying to come up with all kind of ways to prep. Where you can stay cool. I know there's cooling sheets. I'm thinking about getting those. I've bought fans that run on
batteries and solar power. I thought of ice packs because I have an ice machine that I have a generator that it can run, that I can make ice. So I know I can put ice packs together. But other than that, if you come up with anything that we can do, that's what I'm saying. That's my only.
And then to think of it this way, we don't want to get to a point where we're so fearful because you don't have.
No, I'm not gonna die.
That's what I'm saying. So you were just like, Lord, just keep me cool.
Yeah, well,
there's some supernatural things we're gonna have to be praying for
as
well.
True. That's true.
That's true. Supernaturally keep me cool, Lord.
Well, Jesus fed the multitude.
Yes, he did.
With 5 fish and what was it?
2 fish and 5 loaves.
Whatever. He fed a lot of people. He fed a lot of people with a few fish.
That's prepping. Woo.
And maybe that's what he said when he said, don't worry about it, Kim.
Yes.
When I said, what if people start that, like you, who don't prep,
at your door,
and with kids,
Kim, is that why
the baby's here, Kim, you ain't gonna let the baby starve, Kim. You ain't gonna let the baby starve.
We knows you preps, Kim, you prep.
Maybe that's what he told me, don't worry about it, because he was able to feed 1 can of beans. He probably can say it. Just that 1 can that you got, I'll multiply that.
Because he knows your heart wants to be there to help whoever.
Ooh, Lord have mercy.
Door. I know, that's a hard one.
That's a tough one.
Ooh, that'd be a beautiful thing.
Wouldn't that be something?
That'd be beautiful.
But I don't want to get to where I'm feeding the whole neighborhood with 1 can of beans.
I know. Well, hey, if it multiplies and they being fed, what you got to worry about? You put it in God's hand. There you go. Put the prepping in God's hand.
And then this one guy said, the positive thing about food shortages, that none of us will be fat anymore.
Oh, stop. We would have to find a way to eat plants and stuff.
Nobody will be fat anymore. We'll all be, in about 6 months, we'll all be 100 pounds.
Okay, so what are you trying to say? For us fluffy people?
Now, for those of you already 100, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But for those of us, we got a ways to go. No, I'm saying if they already 100 and they starving.
Oh, that was okay.
But those of us, we can last a little longer.
I get it.
Or people will eat us if it get that bad.
Ooh, you know, and then like that movie Alive.
I know.
That was real sad.
But let's hope it's not gonna get like that. But basically,
each other. Oh Lord.
Yeah, it's not. I'll be gone by then.
Oh,
Y'all can. I'm checking out.
Oh yes, Lord.
So that's just basic prepping.
Okay.
Go to ready.gov. The government gave you these items. It's written down. Basic items, guys. Basic. I'll go into more detailed prepping on how to preserve food, because it's not just about having food, it's knowing how to preserve it so that it can last for years and years and years. And then also other things that you need to prep. You're not going to have a whole room full of water, so you need to have some type of water filtration system.
Okay, yeah.
So things like that. There's homemade water filtration systems that you can make with rocks and sand and things like that.
Pure.
There's books that you can buy on prepping. There's all kind of things. But I just wanted to start you guys off with a basic premise on prepping.
Okay.
And get you just in the mindset of it's not always about doomsday. Sometimes it's just about an insurance and having an emergency and being able to be prepared for it. So, do you have anything else? Okay, guys.
Good information.
Good information. And look for more, because I'm going to do more shows on it in more detail.
Okay.
Okay? Anything else? All right, guys. So that was another Woods Report. See you later.